No, I don't think so. But they
Okay.
pin you. I'm not
I
sure.
got Ethan down here on my right. I got Gab on my left. So it's all right. I'll just ping pong it.
But if you press whoever's speaking,
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
okay. All right. Goodbye.
Okay. All right. So this is sort of fun because I'm meeting a lot of new and different people who have Usher syndrome from around the world and the country. And when I heard it was Ethan and Gavin, I was just like, love these guys, know these guys well, can't wait. Have to keep the conversation above the belt because I know that I have the sense of humor of a 13-year-old boy, and you guys are probably more mature than I am. But more importantly, so just so that you guys know sort of what we're doing here, we're doing a series called Scent Stories, and it's basically about trying to bring the Usher syndrome community together. And we're doing that by having individuals tell their stories of what it's like to live with Usher syndrome. And part of it is knowing everyone as individuals and then hearing all of these common themes throughout all of our sort of lives that are pervasive that kind of bond us together in sort of a sense of in a communal way. So I don't know who to start with. I'm certainly every time I see you guys, I always wonder what hair product commercial you're applying for because you both have the most beautiful, incredible hair, which I'm sure gets you far when it comes to the dating scene. But we won't go there yet. So I want you guys to tell me just first at least your names, what type of Usher syndrome you have, and a little bit about your diagnosis. Now, what's interesting is that for people like you guys and even like me, our diagnoses, I think, came in some ways sort of early. So a lot of what we remember is partially what we remember that actually happened, partially what we remember because our parents told us. And so it doesn't matter whether it's accurate, it's just to give us a better sense of what that experience was like for you. I know this is something you've talked about 600 times upside down and sideways. So try not to yawn through it and just whoever wants to start.
Wait, hold on. Before you go, Rebecca, is your light on? I feel like your face is dark. Sorry.
Okay.
Ah, there we go. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Do it again. Tom, do I need to talk?
I'm here.
Did I just run through that quickly again and I won't do all the bullshit?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we have Ethan and Gavin here, brothers who are people I adore and know well. And so it's so exciting and a lot of fun to be able to interview you guys this morning. I'm going to try to keep it tame and not act like a 13-year-old boy, which is hard for me not to do. But so what we're doing here is something called Scent Stories, which is a way of, it's a series that we're trying to bring the Usher syndrome community not only together by raising awareness, but also by telling our stories individually so that we can get to know people as individuals and also as people living with Usher syndrome so that we will see all of these common threads and themes while also understanding who people are just as individuals with Usher syndrome or not. So what I'd love for you guys to do is to say your names, what type of Usher syndrome you have, and give me a little bit of background on your diagnosis. And the diagnosis is based on sort of what you remember and what the experience has been like for you.
Right. My name is Ethan. I have Usher syndrome type 1B. And
I'm out, E. Yeah, what's going on?
I don't know what just happened.
Okay, go ahead. E, start it.
Well, I was 9 at the time when I was diagnosed, and I remember mostly just being confused of like, oh, what does this mean? I didn't like. It was more of also a moment of like, oh, so my life is different than regular people's. Like it was like, okay, that's for sure. Yeah, but my parents, were there. They kept me comfortable, and I just kind of kept on going.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, Gavin, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Gavin. I'm 16 years old, and I have Usher syndrome type 1B, same as Ethan. I was around 7 when I was diagnosed, and because I was 7, I don't really remember much, but in the big scheme of thing, it really didn't change much because I already knew I was deaf and all that, so it didn't change my life in a big way at all.
Okay. And so were you diagnosed in the US, in Canada? Where was your diagnosis?
We were both in Canada.
Okay.
In Toronto.
Got it. So here's what I want to know. You guys are fierce athletes, obviously both very driven. Is there a competitive nature between the two of you?
Very much.
Very much, yeah. Every day back home, everything was a competition. Everything we had to be better than each other.
So how would you say that competitive edge between the two of you, how would you say that was either influenced or not influenced by having Usher syndrome? Do you think that having that competitive nature between the two of you sort of pushed you further in terms of, you have Usher syndrome, there are adjustments you've had to make for many years now, but how does Usher syndrome play into that competitive nature between the two of you?
I think that a lot of it just comes because we're brothers, but then also the Usher syndrome plays a big role, as in like, who's better, who can do better, and we always like bounce back and forth, like I can do this better, and it's always that competition, and I think Usher syndrome has played a big role in that.
Got it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're brothers, and that plays a big role into it. But I think what Usher syndrome really has done for us that I don't think many other siblings would have is it gave us both a baseline of like, okay, we can pretty much only compare how well we're doing to each other than anybody else in the field, because everybody else has their abilities, and then we are directly comparable to each other. So that always gave us that extra bit of like, okay, I got to be better than him, not be better than everyone else, and then be better than him ends up, pushing us really far.
Mm-hmm. So you guys have obviously pretty active lives physically, but also socially. What is it like for you to have Usher syndrome and to interact with friends? How has it been for you to have to either tell people that you have Usher syndrome or ask for help, or what is that experience like? Because I think for any of us with Usher syndrome, and especially people who are fiercely independent as you guys are, it's certainly probably not easy, but I'm wondering what that experience has been like.
Well, I'm here. This is my 3rd week of college, and it's definitely something that with Usher syndrome, it's it is a difficulty in your life that it's not always conveyable to other people of how difficult it is in certain situations. But you just have to push through it, get as much help as you can, and you just have to believe in the best side of people, pretty much.
Yeah, and what I would like to think for me and my brother, it's more of not us being afraid to tell people. It's getting people to understand and really know what they can do to help us is the biggest challenge, and with friends and other people.
So how do you do that? How do you tell people? Or how do you, and your mom will love me for saying this, how do you advocate for yourself? What are those ways? And I don't mean just in school and with teachers. Like, what are the ways that you communicate it to friends? Because I think that so many of us throughout the years have kind of had to come up with creative ways of being able to, ask people for help or let them know that, hey, I don't see very well at night and I need to grab your arm. I mean, listen, to grow up as a girl, as a woman, and to have to ask for help, in some ways, I think maybe it was easier than it would be for guys.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that, in the middle of the night, sometimes it's like if you're with people that you don't know very well, it's kind of difficult to just be like, hey, look, I can't see that well, I need help. But you really just got to say it, and people are more than likely not are there to help you.
Yeah, I agree with Ethan. I agree with Ethan, but then also with my closer friends, a lot of times, this may not work with everyone, but with my friends, normally I like to make a joke about it. And they understand now, and, we joke around a lot, and that's one way I get help a lot.
Mm-hmm. So the joking is a way of not making like fun of you and sort of making you feel badly. It's a way of just normalizing it.
Yeah.
Got it. So, Gavin, you have a girlfriend, not to put you on the spot, but to put you on the spot, what is that like? How has that been in terms of having a girlfriend and having to say, I have vision hearing loss? What are ways in which she has, or you have adjusted? Are there things that you guys do that are sort of like your own, inside jokes or ways of adapting to your needs?
I don't really know. With my girlfriend now, because I have a girlfriend, it's like almost like because we have a relationship and all that, it's not that it doesn't really affect it that much because she understands, and now that she actually cares for me, I don't know, how do I say this? Like, since she cares for me and all that, it's almost like it's not that big of a deal. Like, she understands, she wants to understand, and she wants to help me. So, like, she'll ask me, what do I need, or something like that. And a lot of time, once again, we like to make jokes and all that. That's just because that's the type of person I am. I'm a very jokative person a lot, so we joke around a lot, and that's how we do things.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to interrupt because, I currently don't have a girlfriend. But as someone who's had a girlfriend, I think Gavin missed out on a key point, which is the word that comes to mind is just someone, a companion, right? Someone who's there that understands you a lot, and you can always depend on, and it's someone that it's great to have someone there that you don't even need to explain. It's just straight into like I can just hang out, and I know that she'll help me if she needs to, or if I need it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that companionship that really.
Mm-hmm. And so, what are the ways in which you would say having Usher syndrome informs your life now? Does it, like, are there things that you do differently? Are there things that you think about that you think that other kids your age don't even think about? Are there, and what technology, this is the next question, but what technology have you found to be the most beneficial and helpful to you in terms of like navigating or accessing information? What do you feel most comfortable using?
To answer the first question with like how it's informed our lives, I think it's made us both a lot more responsible than maybe the average teenager, because we have a lot more things we have to think about. We have a lot more things to take care of, our cochlear implants, glasses, everything like that. And that is definitely playing a big role because now it's helping us for the future, because now we get those responsibility, we acquire those responsibility. No, geez. We acquire the, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word. I can't remember it. We acquire the skill of responsibility and all that a lot quicker than maybe other teenagers do.
Yeah, when you're carrying $20,000 on your head, it definitely makes you more responsible. But
yeah, around with that bling can do it for you.
I was really just thinking about that question, right? And how my life would be different without Usher syndrome. And other than the fact that, like, I probably would have grown up in the Dominican Republic, I like to think that I would probably be at the Air Force Academy right now, because I really, really wanted to become a pilot when I was younger. It was like one of my dreams. It was like my passion. But with my visual condition, that's not possible. So that's why I'm here at RIT doing aerospace engineering instead. But yeah, it's the pilot thing in my life has always been the one thing that will bother me about Usher syndrome. Everything else, I take it to the chin. It's great. It's whatever. But the pilot is like, shoot, that sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then to also answer your question about technology, iPads, computers, everything like that, like Google Classroom, online stuff. I find it really helpful because, writing like with a pencil and a paper, I can do it and it's perfectly fine. It's just, doing that over and over again, it gets tiring. Your eyes get tired, my hands get stressed and all that. So honestly, typing and then just using iPads and all that for schoolwork is really easy for me.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, so let me ask you guys another question. So one of the biggest questions or common questions I ask people is about the dreaded cane, right? I mean, so many of us, and listen, you know, in many ways, I'm fiercely independent like you guys are. I'm a crazy athlete, not as crazy as you guys are, but definitely, you know how much I love being athletic and sports, and how great it feels to be able to strengthen my body and empower myself physically, especially since, like you guys, I have no control over the fact that I'm losing my vision and I'm implanted just like you guys are. I know that both of you, I think Gavin, I know you like to swim with your devices on. I'm guessing Ethan does too. We lost Ethan. Is he back? There he is.
I'm back.
Okay. But so I want to hear more about what are your thoughts about the cane? Because I think that, you know, it's interesting. I heard like a study somewhere that said from the time that a person is told that they should use a cane or that they would benefit from using a cane to the time they actually start using that cane is anywhere between about 5 but closer to 15 years. And when I talk to people about like hearing loss, I don't necessarily hear the same feelings of shame that I often hear from people when they talk about having vision loss and having to use a cane. And I totally get it. I mean, you know, the first 5 or 6, 7 times I used my cane, I cried, which fortunately down the street with a blind person's cane in New York City and crying doesn't look that unusual. But still, it was like, it was definitely something that I really had a lot of feelings about. So what are your thoughts about the cane, and how do you feel about when you have to, or how do you feel about using it?
It's a tough question, but you know, the one thing that comes to mind when we talk about canes, right, is I don't know. For me, it's always been when I've been like when people teach me how to use a cane and everything. It's all about trusting your cane, and it that always made me uncomfortable because I have always trusted my vision more than the cane. So I don't have that trust in that cane yet where I'm comfortable using it on my own for for its use. So that's the biggest thing with me in the cane is that I'll use it when I'm with other people, like especially with my family. We've done it tons of times because it makes the situation more comfortable. But if I'm on my own, I'd rather just use a flashlight and trust my vision. So.
I would have to agree with Ethan there. But then also the social aspect of it, of what other people think, especially when I was learning how to use a cane, it was a lot of time during school, and I was in middle school, you know, that 13-year-old phase or whatever, and I had to use it in between switching classes. So a lot of times, you know, like I was fine with it, but then sometimes in the back of my head, there was a little bit of that social aspect, like what are people gonna think about it, or like, you know what I mean? Like when people look at a cane in middle school, a lot of times they try like, you know, they're gonna be judgmental and all that. So sometimes that went around in my head, but a lot of times, yes, it was like what Ethan said. I trust my vision a lot more than I do the cane at the moment.
So you guys are fierce advocates for Usher syndrome, and not even just, you know, for Usher syndrome, but just showing people that you can live very fulfilling, very active, very meaningful lives while living with Usher syndrome. Are you tired of talking about Usher syndrome? Are you tired of like having to even be having this conversation? Is there some part of you that wishes that like you didn't even have to think about this stuff or be volunteered to have these kinds of conversations, or does it feel like does it feel humbling? Is there anything about it that, what are your thoughts about that? Because I know that you guys are on the spot a lot.
To be straight up, most of the time, no. I love talking about it. I love meeting people in the community. I love doing everything. But there are certain times, or there have been certain times in the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 years with Ava's Voice especially, where we'll do like back to back to back to back, and it'll just like a lot will happen in a short amount of time, And towards the end of that, I'll be like, all right, I want to go back to my normal life. I don't want to. I'm done with this. But as long as I get a refresher, some time in between, I'm always happy to talk about it and talk to new people about it because I enjoy it. So.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's the same. I love doing it. I like doing it, and what Ethan said with it, like back to back to back. I feel like that's more of just that happens to everyone. If you're like, let's say your job is interviewing people, and you do it back to back to back, I feel like they would just get just as tired of it as we would. So it's more of just that we love it, and everyone needs a break sometimes. So.
And so, what do you love about it? Do you love sort of being able to show people that you can live an incredibly full life, or what is it about it that you love?
I just like sharing sharing to people that you shouldn't want to hide it. It's something you should be proud of because it shouldn't it should be what's defined you. You should be able to show other people that this is me and I can do whatever the heck I want.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a good feeling being surrounded by people who understand and bringing that understanding to people who don't feel like, I don't know, that people understand them that much yet. It's like, no, I want you to know that we are here for you. And, it is a tough time, but you'll work through it. You're strong, and we all believe in you. So it's always good to be in that kind of community, expressing those kind of feelings.
So, Ethan, you're in the third week of college, and so it's a pretty exciting time. Unfortunately, we're in the middle of COVID, so I hope you guys end up staying there and that this, that everybody pulls through. But do you have a roommate? And if you do, what was it like to tell your roommate? And what are your thoughts about having to meet new people and acclimate to being in college? And how do you decide when to tell or if to tell?
So, I do have a roommate. He's not in here right now, but me and him met over Facebook and Snapchat in like April. And I told him right off the bat. He added my Snap from a Facebook post that I made where I said, hey, I have Usher syndrome. Here's the very basic description of it, but if you want to know more, just ask me. And, he Snapchatted me and he asked me, so what is this that you, and I explained it to him and everything. And we just started talking more and we decided on becoming roommates. So, that was awesome. But when it comes to when to tell other people, that's a very, very tough question because it is very hard to find the right time, especially with so many different situations, whether it's in the classroom, a social situation, a club, or where you're literally just getting food on the other side of campus or something like that. There's so many times where I wish I could just be like, hey, everyone, this is what I have. This is what I need. This is and everything. But obviously that's not possible if you're just in a restaurant. You can't just scream at everyone like, hey, I'm deaf and blind, help me. But it's definitely a balancing act.
So I know that you mentioned, Ethan, that you're super into aerospace and engineering, which I think if somebody told me I had to study aerospace and engineering, I'd probably, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably freeze and never be able to move because I'm so overwhelmed just thinking about that. So that's incredible. But Gavin, so I want to hear more about what that looks like for you. And obviously you're in the beginning stages of it. But Gavin, what are some of your kind of thoughts and goals and hopes in terms of what you'd like to pursue? Do you know?
Right now, I'm not quite sure what I want to do. A lot of time throughout my life, I kind of like followed my brother, and I thought I wanted to do aerospace like my brother. And yes, obviously that still is I'm still very interested in that. But I think now that I'm older, I've really broadened my thoughts of like what I really want to do, and I'm not sure exactly what I would do yet, but I'm really interested in some kind of engineering, either like mechanical or automotive for cars and all that, either something business related or something with math and science. It's one of those three that I'm probably going to choose.
Got it. And all right, so let's talk about swimming. You guys are both competitive swimmers. you both are highly, highly accomplished when it comes to swimming. What is it about swimming that you love so much?
I don't know, really, ever since I was a baby, whenever I got in the water, I just loved being in the water. I just loved swimming around, loved how it felt, loved just moving around in the water, and that's really stuck with me throughout my life. And because of that, I've enjoyed swimming a lot, and it's just a nice place where I can just zone out, swim, and have fun.
And as a competitive swimmer, given your vision and hearing loss, how do you know when you get to the end of the lane and it's time to flip and swim back? What cues do you use? Visual, auditory?
Visual. There's a T on the bottom of the pool that signals that the wall's coming up. And then the thing, actually, that's a good question, because other people, they don't even need to look up. Like, there's no instinct where they need to look up. They just know, and then they turn, right? For us, I don't know how much for Gavin, but especially for me, I've always had to look up, and that will slow you down. And so many coaches have nailed on that. They're like, you can't look up in the turn. And I've tried a little compromise where I kind of look up, but not that much. And also just getting more comfortable with the tee in the pool and how close it is to the wall. So yeah, that is definitely something that, we struggle with that regular swimmers don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Personally, I don't think I struggle with that as much as Ethan does.
I can't wait where this is going. Go ahead.
But I do understand where he's coming from. But I do think I'm just I can look. I do look up.
I think he looks up. He just doesn't know about it.
I do look up. I will admit, I do look up, but I don't do it as much as you do.
Oh, I used to be way worse, but I definitely fixed it a lot.
Yeah, so what we really use is the tee in the bottom of the pool, and then when, as a swimmer, throughout the lap, you know approximately how far you are in the lap, because you know how far a lap is, and you know where you are. So you know when you're coming up to the flags and to the wall. So that's just like that's just feeling from swimming a lot.
Yeah, it's just the consistency, right? 25 yards every time. We know.
Mm-hmm. And then another thing is backstroke. When you're swimming backstroke, obviously you're on your back. You can't flip on your back and look behind you to see if the wall's there. So they have, in a pool, they have flags. And so, you try to use the flags to, and then once you see the flags, you have to count your stroke. You have to count how many strokes you are until you hit the wall. And that's, when you flip. Sometimes I've struggled with seeing the flags. Mm-hmm. For example, in a championship meet during the summer, I actually missed the flags. I didn't see them. So luckily, I knew that I was coming up to the wall. I just couldn't see the flags, so I was really confused. I hit the wall, but I still managed to turn around and all that. But yeah, that's definitely a struggle. And definitely in the Paralympics, there's an option where you can get a coach to have a stick with a ball on the end to tap you when you're 2 strokes from the wall, so you know when to flip turn. Me and my brother have not gotten to the point where we want that yet, but that is definitely an option for the future.
Well, I'm glad
I don't think, Gavin, that we're allowed to as S13s.
Yeah, we are.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure we are.
Okay.
So I was going to ask you, are there any ways that they could create, or is there any way that there could be an easier option for you when swimming to know when to flip, whether you're doing a backstroke, whether you're, doing freestyle or, breaststroke, butterfly? Is there something that you wish that they used in your, competitive swimming that would be easier for you, or that would alert you better to know when to flip? I mean, the idea of having to know when to try to navigate, looking up just for a second and looking down, that's got to be stressful.
Honestly,
yeah, it is stressful. But Gavin just said the best option they have right now is that ball and a stick. Uh-huh. But that, I don't think that would help us that much. So we just grinded it out. We've trained, and that's what we've done. Yeah.
I think because we've been swimming for so long, that skill and that kind of trying to do that, it's just been incorporated to our swimming, that we don't even think about it anymore. It's just it's a part of our routine. It's a part of our stroke now.
So what has it been like for you to have a mom who is as active as she is in helping you guys get all of the type of technology, devices, having such a fierce advocate as you know, your parents both are, but particularly your mom, she's really dedicated her life to this. How do you feel about that? In what ways has it shaped or helped you?
I mean, obviously, we both wouldn't be here without our mom. She's amazing. She's done so much for us. And, you know, there's just so many things that I try and tell other people, so many lessons that I try to convey to other people that I straight up just have learned from her. You know, the best parts of me are from her. And she you know, she's done this all for us without any, you know, hesitation. So, yeah, she's pretty amazing.
I have to agree with my brother. You know, she's been amazing. And the biggest thing is she has started this whole advocating and knowing and researching what to do like when we were babies. And as me and Ethan were babies, we can't go around and ask doctors or research what we need. So the biggest thing, what I'm really thankful for her is she started that for us. And then as we got older, she started teaching us how to do that. And that, I think, has played the biggest role in who we are and how we have Usher syndrome and how we get along with it.
Got it. Okay, so a few like rapid fire questions. I just want to see how you guys might answer this. So I want to ask you some questions, and I want you to answer me by telling me who is better.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Woohoo!
All right. So who's a better student?
Me?
Me.
No.
Good. I'm glad we can agree on that. All right. Who is better backstroke?
Me.
Gavin.
Gavin. Who's better freestyle?
Me.
Ethan.
Ethan. Who's better breaststroke?
Me.
Gavin.
Gavin. Who's better at butterfly?
Ethan.
The king.
Who's better? Who's better at relay?
Me.
I'm better at relay starts. Gavin, I'm bigger than you. I can go so much farther.
Bro, I've started so many relays and given our team like a 5-second lead. So
Yeah,
don't
I'm
even.
always anchor. You're always starter. Anchor is better than starter.
If you don't have a big lead, then you're not gonna do anything.
Do you know how many times that I've come back from a deficit?
Only because no, that's because the middle two swimmers got rid of the advantage I gave them. So
Whatever. I'm better.
no way.
I'm glad that we could both see eye to eye on that, or we could all see eye to eye on that. No pun intended. All right. So who is messier? Who's like generally not as clean?
Ethan.
I'm messier. Yeah.
Okay. Who's better at basketball in your pool?
Me.
Gavin?
No.
Okay. Ethan and Gavin, both. So who does Erickson like spending more time with? Erickson,
Ethan.
Me.
Ethan.
But only because my bed is so much bigger.
So does Erickson sleep in your bed?
He sleeps in both of our beds, but he likes mine better.
Yeah, it's bigger. He has a queen bed. I have a double bed. So.
And who is more responsible?
Me.
Got it. Okay, so I see where this is going. It seems like this was a good idea to have you guys answer some of these questions.
We agree on so much.
What would you guys say, hands down, Ethan? Hands down, what would you say that Gavin is stronger in than you are?
Shoot. I mean, my usual answer for that was breaststroke. You're like, something like that. But I'm trying to think of something in life that he should have better than me at.
Gav, I feel like you're gonna have a harder time with this, so I want to give you some time.
He's definitely better than me at shoot.
Wow.
I'm trying to think. No. He's definitely better than me at a lot of things, but I can't think of it right now. Because I'll say he's way better than me at sim racing or racing online. But I caught up to him in that, so whatever.
No way.
Okay. Question.
But I don't want to say that because that's lame or whatever racing. But
How about this?
Matt?
Gab, what do you admire most in your brother?
Social.
Okay.
Socially?
yeah.
He's
I was also
really
gonna say,
good
Gavin,
socially.
You could say that I'm better than you at keeping a level head or a cool head.
Okay, so Ethan's more level-headed, so he paid himself his own compliment from you. That was
There you
interesting.
go. I took it.
Ethan, what do you admire most about Gavin?
His resiliency. You know, he always bounces back from a lot of things. He's definitely always ready for the next thing coming. So yeah, definitely his resiliency.
Okay, so Gab, you're incredibly resilient. You admire how sort of socially comfortable Ethan is. Is that right?
Yeah, he's really good.
That's
like
great.
he can make out of nowhere. He can just make a butt ton of friends if he wants to. I'm getting there. I'm working on it. I'm doing better.
You are getting better.
Yeah, you've got a good, solid group of friends too, Gavin. Well, okay, so I'm going to bring Nancy back on here. Nance, are there any questions? I mean, it's hard for me to interview these guys because the kinds of questions I ask other people are different because I kind of know this stuff about Ethan.
I know. No, I love how they banter back and forth. You guys, it's so fun for me to watch this because now I'm seeing you guys as two boys doing this, but Tyler and Hannah do have their own thing going on too. And what I love about what I see even with my own kids, both of you having Usher syndrome, just being able to share that. Let me just change my layout so I can see you guys. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, there. I think that it's so nice that you have each other because in the end, as what one of you mentioned or both of you, that all the transitions that you go through, you kind of have each other to talk to about because your friends or other people, even your parents, me as a parent, I don't know what you're going through really. Only, you're going through it and you're so close in age that, I mean, Ethan, here you are. Good for you. I've been going back with your mom. I'm so proud of you. There you are. And I'm saying, like, how the hell does your room look so clean? I'm like, you're a college kid. Henry just got there yesterday and he showed me his room today and it's already a mess. So you look really organized. So are you normally organized like that?
Well, my room at home was definitely messier, but I feel like that was because so much stuff just stockpiled up that I just didn't feel like cleaning it out.
Yeah.
But it's not too bad. The only mess I would say is right here.
Oh, I can't wait. Let's see what this looks like. Hold on, but go get your mom, Gab. Let's have her.
So
You want me to get mama?
so many cords.
Right.
Right over here.
Yeah.
And then up there on the windowsill, there's just so much stuff there.
Wait,
But that's just extra stuff that I don't really use.
Yeah. It is, I mean, how is it navigating around campus? Has it been okay?
I mean, I enjoy it, the only thing is that, so there's dorm side, which I'm in right now.
Yeah.
Jeez. I can't hear. And then in the middle, there's academic, which is about like a 10-minute walk.
Yeah. Okay.
And then another 5 or 10-minute walk, and there's all the food. So it's like a 20-minute walk for food a lot. But
are they keeping all the cafeterias open so you can just go? You're like in a bubble, and you can just do
pretty much, yeah. I'm allowed to do anything on campus as long as I have a mask on.
Yeah.
The gyms are closed though.
Yeah, that's what Henry said. His gym's closed also. His gym became a testing site, so they have to get tested every 3 days right now. Yeah, it's crazy. Wow. He's kind of bummed about that. So, wait, here, Pam's coming on.
Wait, E, take your hat off for a sec. I want to see how long your hair is. Jesus. How often do you guys have to cut your hair? Like what, once every 4 days, or what would you say?
Well, I've never really had long hair before, other than when I was like 9, when I was diagnosed with Usher syndrome.
Wait, so I have to tell you, I wish I had a picture. I do on my phone I'm going to email it to you guys what Tyler looks like. So his hair has now grown. So now he has like a bun up here. It's so long at the front. When he took it down, it was like way over here. It's unbelievable. It's so long, and he every once in a while he'll wear a hat just to move it out. But now it's a man bun, which is so funny to watch him. He just got to school yesterday, so he's in his senior year, and he's they're doing the same thing. They create this bubble, and then that's it. They can do whatever. So, hi Pam.
Pam, Dick said he was really happy.
You're on mute.
Dick said he really loved talking to you yesterday.
Wait, she has to get off mute.
Pam, you're on mute.
You're on mute.
Yes, my goodness, he is really well versed in the research and what's going on out there.
Yeah, he loves you guys. I don't know why, but he does.
It was great helping him.
Alan's awesome.
His birthday is September 10th, so I might have you guys do a video or something. I got him a T-shirt that says "Don't be a Richard."
Oh, that's funny. That's great.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
You know, now that Mom's here, we should settle a lot of the things that me and Gavin couldn't disagree on or couldn't agree on.
I had rapid fire them answer questions. Okay, just like rapid fire. Who's better at this? And it was a shit show.
That's so funny. So Pam, we're going to be interviewing you guys. We interview your mom separately, so she's on a different list. So she'll be also talking from her perspective. But you guys, thank you, because I know you're busy doing everything you're doing, and we appreciate you taking the time. And Pam, by the way, this is Tom over there. He's doing filming.
Hi, Tom.
So I appreciate it so much. And we will get back to you to take videos from where you are, that we're going to combine it with some of this, the live video that we'd love for you guys to do. And we'll decide. Tom's going to review it. We'll review it. And then just email you and ask you to take, it's like a 15-second video. So, and we'll combine it together.
Shoot, before I forget, Ethan, Gavin, you guys got your tickets, right?
Tickets?
You got your tickets?
What tickets?
Oh.
I mean, listen, right? Let's talk about Paralympic swimming. You know, me and Gavin, we were just getting to our we were best ever, and we were so strong. And then COVID-19 happened.
Oh, shit.
And, oh, man, I lost 25 pounds in like a month.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I lost a lot of muscle, but also a lot of fat because I did not eat. So, you know, it's not as big as they used to be, you know?
Yeah.
What can you do if the gym is closed? What are you going to do? What are you going to do to continue trying to get yourself back to maybe where you were?
And how long
the
does
question
it take to
that
regain
you know,
that muscle
our mom
weight?
was always asking us. But in COVID, when in quarantine, we tried getting out of the house, running, body weight workouts,
Biking.
and we did it fairly. You know, it was here sometimes and it wasn't there sometimes. But then we also we had a trainer before COVID-19, and we kept it going with him where we had stuff at home, and then we would FaceTime him and we'd do like a half an hour workout.
Oh, that's great. Oh,
And
that's-
then,
I can guys, if you wanted me to, I'm happy to do it. It's no big deal.
and then towards July, like towards the beginning of July, our summer swim team, they sent an email that they were going to start practicing. So then me and my brother both signed up, and we started swimming, and I've been swimming ever since then. I just had practice this morning.
Wow.
Ethan, how long will it take to regain that 25 pounds of?
Oh, I don't even want to know, man. I'm so upset. It's gonna take a lot of grinding again, probably a year's worth, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah, especially with the swim, getting back to those times where I was at. I'd probably say a good 6 to 8 months of training.
wow. Oh my God. That's amazing. Wow. And this is your first year that you won't be on the swim team with Gavin, right? Because you were on the same team.
Yeah, except for the first 2 years of high school.
Yeah.
Every time we swam together.
Oh, Gavin, I know it's hard. Yeah, it's tough. I mean,
Gavin is psyched. He's about to like just rip on his brother. He's going to be so
Yeah.
much
it's just all of this, it's not always easy when you're close and you spend so much time and you overlap in so many things between the two of you to have one go off a little earlier, but you're not too far behind. So yeah,
Nope.
yeah. Enjoy this quiet time. So, well, thank you guys so much for doing this. We appreciate it. Good luck. We can't wait to actually see you in person. I know Rebecca's been lucky enough to see you guys in person. Thank you, and we'll be back in touch with you. Okay.
I should have told you. I should have asked them on the Richard let them drive his car. Let Gavin drive his car. Not to ask him.
I
All
did it legally though. I have my license.
What?
It was legal for me to do it.
Yeah.
Oops.
Right.
Oh my God. All right, guys, you're the best. Thanks for.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for
See you
having
guys.
us.
Bye.